Hey, it's Vanessa from CraftyGemini.com, and today's tutorial is on how to make my kitty handle, courtesy of our friends at allfreesewing.com. If you have a small child or toddler, you know how bothersome it can be to be bent over holding their hand as you walk out in public. It really hurts my back, so I've come up with this little kitty handle that I created, and it's basically a quilted strap that has a closure on one end. You can use Velcro, buttons, or you can even use snaps, would work fine. And so I would slip this part through my pant belt loop, or you can use your purse handle or a diaper bag or even a stroller if you have more than one child. You slip that there and you attach it so it holds on to your end. And then on the other side we have a handle which is for the child to slip their hand through just like this and hold on to you. I think this is a great way to teach your child not to go far from you, to stay real close by, and it's really simple to make. Let me show you how I did it. So let's gather our supplies. First you're going to need your fabric, and here I'm using 100% cotton fabric. Then you're going to need some batting, and this is a great project to use those leftover scraps in. If you don't have batting, you can use felt or flannel. We're basically just looking for something that's a little bit thick to give the strap some extra body. Then you're going to need your closure, and here we'll be doing it with the hook and loop tape or Velcro type stuff. Make sure you get the kind that you can sew through. Again, remember you can use buttons or snaps, any type of closure you want. Then you'll also need a large safety pin, and I'll show you why in a second. And your coordinating thread, and you're ready to start. Here you see the fabric the way it usually comes off the bolt, doubled up like this. I like to put the fold down towards me, and then I just cut two strips that measure 2.5 inches by the width of the fabric. And usually for 100% cotton fabrics, that width will be between 40 and 44 inches. You're going to need two strips like this. Then repeat the same thing with your batting, so you end up with two strips of fabric and one strip of batting, and all three have the exact same measurements. Now that we have our strips cut out, this is the order that I want you to layer them up to get them ready to sew. First, lay down your batting. Then, you're going to take one of your fabric strips, like this, and see the pretty side, put it pretty side up. So I'm going to lay it just like this, right on top. Then you're going to take your other strip of fabric and lay it with the pretty side facing down. And then what you want to do is just try to match up all these edges as best as you can, and then pin along one of the long sides of the entire strip. Now that my pins are in place, I'm going to take it to my machine, and with a regular straight stitch, using the edge of the fabric along the edge of my presser foot as my guide, I'm going to stitch one straight stitch line all the way down the entire length of my strap. So I have one side done. Now I'm just going to turn it over, and you don't even need to pin on this side because now it's pretty secure, so just do the exact same thing on the other long side of your strap. So now that we've stitched on both edges, as you see here, we have a big tube that we need to turn inside out. So here's where the big safety pin comes into play. Open it up. Now I go to the side that has the batting. So now I have two layers here. I have one piece of fabric and one batting. So through these two layers, I'll put my safety pin through and close it. And now just turn it down so that the head of the safety pin is going in between your two fabric layers, right down the center. And then you're just going to scrunch it through, and as you pull with this hand, I'm holding the head of the safety pin in here, and then just pull the fabric back towards it. Keep doing the same thing all the way until you get your safety pin out on the other end. Here you see I pulled my safety pin out on this end, and if you just pull, the entire tube will flip inside out. After you're done doing this, what you need to do now is obviously remove your safety pin, and then you're just going to have to work this side seam. I like to roll it in between my fingers because what you want is this seam right here to be going down the side. You see how it's tucking inside? You want to bring all that fabric in there out. And then of course you're going to take it to your pressing mat and press it so it lays nice and flat. Now that you've pressed your strap so everything lays nice and flat, you're going to go back to your machine, and with a straight stitch, you're going to stitch, again using the edge of the strap as the guide with your presser foot, straight stitch all the way down both long sides of the strap again. You can see I've stitched those two rows of quilting stitches all the way around. That's going to hold our layers together. Now the ends, you'll probably still have some selvages, so go ahead and trim those off like I've done here. And then you want to go to your sewing machine, and with a tight little zigzag stitch, stitch all the way down here just to secure these raw edges on both ends. I've secured both ends with those tight little zigzag stitches you can see there. Now it's time to make our first loop, which is going to be the handle where the child is going to hold on to. You can just eyeball it and see what size you think would be best for your child. I'm just going to fold it about there. I'm going to put one pin here, then I'm going to do a bunch of zigzag stitches back and forth right here to secure this in place. So this has been secured in place, as you can see there, with a bunch of zigzag stitches. Now we're ready to attach our closure to the other end. Here, what we're going to do is I have two pieces of Velcro, the sewable kind, and I have one of the scratchy parts is going to go here on the end, and then the soft part is going to go somewhere down here. You want to just figure out how wide you want this to go. And since I made this strip longer, it'll be completely adjustable, so you can make it all the way here, or you can do it here, whatever you'd like. To sew this stuff on, you want to just try and hold it in place, or pin it if you can, and do a zigzag stitch all the way around the perimeter of the square here, and then when you attach the rectangle of the softer part down here. Now that both of our pieces of the Velcro ends have been attached, the rough side here and the soft here, you have a fully functioning kitty handle.